What's up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Today, we will be doing an in focus on Nightmare, a character we think may pop up in WandaVision. Nightmare is the ruler of the Dream Dimension and is one of the Fear Lords, which was a group of 7 demons that conspired to conquer and rule the world through fear. He is most commonly depicted as one of Doctor Strange or Ghost Rider's major enemies. He has the ability to draw power from psychic energies of the subconscious minds of dreaming beings. And being that he's such a new character to me, maybe Keith can explain a little bit more on this character. Keith, take it away.
Thanks, Dave. I think basically you kind of hit all the major points. He's kind of a class 3 demon. He's able to capture a sleeping person's astral form, bring it into his realm, and he can kind of torment them in any ways he wants to. He can even possess people to work through them. There's been a lot of rumors about Nightmare being the big bad of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So it does make some sense that he could show up at the end of WandaVision. As we know, there was a lot of magic being cast all at once, very intricate spells that was done by Wanda to start all of this, to create the hex. Not only did it, get Agatha's attention, but I'm sure it got the attention of a lot of other magical beings, and Nightmare definitely could have been one of them. So it wouldn't be surprising at all if we find that he's been lurking in kind of possessing people and maybe even bringing in their sleeping, astral form to gain knowledge.
You guys brought up some really interesting stuff about Nightmare. Now, also, like Dave, I'm not as versed in who this character is, but I have seen him in a couple of the comics. Now, Keith and Dave know that I enjoy the Ultimate Universe. And in the Ultimate Universe, Nightmare always appears as sort of like an ethereal or corpse-like being. He's definitely sort of embodying this whole, nightmare idea. And he spends most of his time within the minds of other people instead of taking like more of a physical form. He takes on this like corpse-like appearance within the nightmares or the dreams of other people. Mostly, like what David mentioned, Doctor Strange. Now, in some of the animation, he hasn't popped up too much in animation, but he has popped up every now and again in Ultimate Spider-Man, the animated series. And in that, I really I'm not entirely sure how to describe how he looked other than 90s rocker on cocaine. But it is kind of interesting how he's taken a whole bunch of different forms and how in different iterations of him in the comics, he's referred to as either demon or a nightmare or some other creature. Now, the fact that he can sort of change his appearance depending on, what iteration he's in, and the fact that most of his powers are living within the minds and the nightmares of regular people and heroes, I think what this is going to end up meaning is for WandaVision and for Loki and for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and some of these other properties, Nightmare may appear in whatever form that he chooses. It might be like the Ghostbusters.
Choose the form of the Destructor.
And I think it's going to take a combination, Wanda, of Doctor Strange, and maybe even of Agatha in order to stop him. I'm convinced, and we might talk about this in a future video, but I'm kind of convinced that at the very least, Agatha probably already knows who or what Nightmare is. And I think seeing him appear, if he does show up in WandaVision, seeing him appear is going to force her to make a truce with Wanda and others in order to fight him. We're aware that Agatha has some dealings with darker magic, and so she may already be aware of who Nightmare is.
Nightmare's biggest weakness is when he is outside of his realm. He can basically be overcome while he is in a being who has completely conquered their fear. So I think this may play in as to why maybe we haven't seen him in WandaVision or anywhere else. He may be just getting into people's dreams to gather knowledge and to see how he can get all of this chaos magic for himself, possibly. So I think it's a very good possibility that he's been there all along, and that is why we haven't seen him yet, but he's been an instrumental player into gathering knowledge through people's dreams.
The world belongs to Nightmare.
That's Nightmare, people, from the comics. We're hoping we see him in either episode 9 of WandaVision or maybe Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But what do you guys think? Did we hit everything we needed to? Do you guys have any stories about Nightmare? Any best comics that he was in? Let us know down in the comments. And we'll see you guys next time at Not Your Status Quo. Thank you.